Well, welcome to Boucher Field on this very special day as Husson University welcomes Lesley for what should be an exciting afternoon of soccer. Hello, everybody. I'm Philip Robarge, joined alongside Nolan Humphreys and Gabe Shaw. And Nolan, I'll start with you. This is a chance to see both the women's and the men's squad here in action today. We start, of course, with this women's game, and it's one that Husson would feel as though they're favorites to win. They come into this matchup well-rested and in great form, coming back off a pretty decisive victory over UMaine Fort Kent here on Wednesday by a score of 4-2. Do you see it having their own way today, Husson, or do you think this will be closer than one might think?
Yeah, Husson coming off of 7 days rest. I think that this one's going to be a little bit closer. First conference game for Husson. So those are always going to be tight. I think the game against Fort Kent, they had the way for most of the game, other than some stretches where Fort Kent fought back. But in this game, it's going to be tight. The first 5 to 10 minutes are really going to determine things here for the first conference game for the Husson Eagles.
And we saw in the second half of that Fort Kent game, we saw the emergence of Madison Weigler back in the lineup. She's starting today for Husson over the freshman. And what do you think her impact is going to have to be today?
Well, yeah, senior goalkeeper, so you want to go with the veteran for one of the bigger games. The freshman, it's good to get her in and get her some time, but it's in conference play. Now it's no messing around, so they go with the senior goalkeeper. I think it's a great decision. Veteran move, and, we'll have to see. Time will tell if that's going to be the right decision.
And, Gabe, for Lesley, 1 win in 4 games. Doesn't look that bad on paper because they've played, a ranked opponent and, very, very tough teams, but they'd certainly like a win here today. I'm sure the defeat here last November will be fresh in all those players' minds. And how can they look to perhaps avenge that loss and start a new streak here today?
Well, first and foremost, you got to go with scoring goals. And the 4 games they've played this season, they haven't scored more than 1 goal more than once. So they have to, find the net more than once in this whole game. So they only won 1 game, and that was 4-0, and that was the only game they scored more than 1 goal. So that's what their goal has to be today, is score more than 1 goal, as their defense is good, though. So they got to keep Husson to 1 goal, as they've been doing all season with other games. So their defense is good, but their offense needs to improve a little bit. So, and in order to avenge it, they just got to stay focused. As Nolan said, it's the first in-conference game, so this is very important.
And do you think that they'll want to start faster? Do you think they'll blitz the Eagles early on to try and get that goal, that all-important goal, get on the score sheet early, and then rely on that defending that's been such a strength for them?
Yeah, I think blitzing would be definitely a great way to start the game, going with these early goals. Eagles did start last game with some goals early in the game in the first 5 minutes. So if Eagles start with that same, push, Lesley's going to have to defend early. But both teams are going to, I think, be starting off very, very tough and very pushing the ball.
Absolutely. It's Husson versus Lesley in a rematch of last year's East Division Final, as this is the first of 2 games coming up for you from Boucher. But first, our national anthem and starting lineups. You won't want to miss it. Join us when we return on the Husson Eagles Sports Network.
The NCAA North Atlantic Conference and Husson University promote good sportsmanship by the student athletes, coaches, and spectators at today's contest. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from Boucher Field. Introducing the starters for the visiting Lynx. A senior goalkeeper, number 0, Madison Reed. A sophomore forward, number 2, Lesley Cruz. A sophomore defender, number 3, Maya Spatafor. A senior defender, number 4, Maddie Dusky. A senior defender, number 5, Rachel Weinzimmer. A senior defender, number 6, Annika Nezda. A senior midfielder, number 11, Zoe Kurtaz. A sophomore midfielder, number 13, Elsie Kohler. A junior defender, number 19, Desiree Lopez. A senior forward, number 23, Kylie Chagnon. A junior midfielder, number 25, Bethany Slivka. Lesley is under the direction of Paul Vasconcelos. And now, introducing your Husson University Eagles. In goal, a senior from Manchester, New Hampshire, number 1, Madison Weigler. A sophomore from Sanford, Maine, number 3, Haley Tarbox. A senior from Ellsworth, Maine, number 6, Addie Lasley. A junior from Carmel, Maine, number 7, Lindsay Reed. A senior from Holden, Maine, number 13, Devin St. Louis. A senior from Deerfield, New Hampshire, number 23, Kaylee Null. A senior from Chehalis, Washington, number 25, Cassie Schilter. A freshman from Tinley Park, Illinois, number 28, Taya Gerfin. A sophomore from Las Vegas, Nevada, number 29, Paige Dunn. A junior from Corinth, Maine, number 30, Riley Speed. A junior from Petoskey, Michigan, number 33, Emma Nicholson. The Eagles are coached by Dennis Mullins, and he is assisted by Nick Christensen, Matt Goodman, Chris Selby, and Megan Bunnymeyer. Fans, at this time, we ask that you please rise and honor America with the playing of the national anthem.
and the kickoff. And we're away. 10th meeting between these two as Husson holds the advantage in all-time matchups. 7-2 as we see a quick break here for Lesley. That ends in a clean save for Weigler. As we mentioned, Husson, 7 wins, 2 losses. Looking to add their 4th win of the season. As that it's a long ball destined for the hands of goalkeeper Madison Reed.
Yeah, and both goalies early on getting the touch of the ball, getting settled into this game.
We'll see the first free kick. We mentioned earlier, just a fast start that Lesley would want to have in this one, as they haven't scored many goals. Here's the free kick and bounces around, but then away finally. Rambling for it in there. Husson will be awarded a foul.
You know, early here, both teams playing very aggressive for the ball. What you like to see, and like we said earlier, with the fast-paced start.
Null takes it short for Paige Dunn. Be interested to see how Husson will play this one. They did a lot of pressing in their game against Fort Kent. So we see an early give and go there.
Yeah, playing a usually more aggressive team in Lesley. They average 17 shots per game. Only averaging 1 goal, though. So I'd expect Madison Weigler to see the ball often, but maybe they're not going to be the best chances early on.
So you see now, first attempt there, but Weigler there to make the save.
Good early opportunity for Lesley early on in this game.
As Elise Kohler gets her first shot on target. As Nolan mentioned, this team knows how to shoot. They know how to find their way in a game, as this one is headed for Lesley. She'll have a shot, and from a tight angle, well, just over in the end.
That's what she can do, though. She puts that ball in and around the net. Look for number 6 to have a big game. Especially if Husson's going to come out with a win. You're going to need to go through your best forward, Addie Lesley.
5 goals on the season.
I believe a week ago against Fort Kent, she opened the scoring about 20 seconds into the game.
She did. She almost did that time as well. As that one will go out. Or a goal kick. Mentioned that early start that Husson got off to, and we saw the long ball that was played over the top to Lesley. That'll certainly be a feature.
It certainly was a week ago, so
saw Husson have an enormous amount of possession. It was over 60% against Fort Kent.
It's going to be a lot different this game. First end conference game. Lesley's an aggressive team. They shoot a lot, we already mentioned.
Griffin looking to put one in. She's able to win a corner that time.
Lesley being physical, though, as far as their defenses started out in the first 5 minutes of this one.
They'll want to limit the amount of set plays, corners included. So you see the ball come in now and headed away. That ball didn't reach past the first defender on the post. Here's Dunn. Dunn shooting it outside, and looked for a second like St. Louis might have had a play on that one, but it's in the hands of Reed.
Again, Husson bringing that pressure early, keeping it in the zone.
Yeah, both teams really bringing the pressure, as Lesley has it now. Good through ball to Zoe Curtaz there. Good body there from Emma Nicholson.
And finally away there, but dangerous attempt again. Danger's still not clear, though. Lesley maintaining possession. Here's Kurtaz again, swinging one in. And hard contact there. The ref says it's clean. As Cruz was in, just not able to get enough on that and really have an attempt at Weigler's goal.
Great defensive play right there.
And Husson's physicality definitely on show for us here early. Husson lose it again. Chances for both sides here. This game definitely didn't take long to get going.
No.
Less than 2 minutes have transpired, and already we're seeing shots from both sides. That's exactly what we want to see, though. This one long for St. Louis. It'll be a run on, and Reed had to come up strong. A mistake there, and that one absolutely would have ended up in her own net.
Both teams doing a good job at sustaining the pressure that they're giving each other.
Out off Shagnon. Husson's throat.
Just look for possession right now if you're Husson. Forcing a lot of mistakes. And Leslie's back on the ball.
This will be a tough test for them as Cortez on the ball again. Griffin wins it back. Unable to find Lesley. And in the end, it'll go for a Husson throw. Be interesting to see now as Husson, in their last matchup against Fort Kent, did dominate possession, but don't think that'll be the case today, as early signs suggest that it's just going to be counterattacking both sides here, both ways, as this ball is through and Lesley won't have enough on that one.
And this is going to be more of a back and forth game, but Husson with a week off, they should be well prepared, well rested for the back and forth at this first end conference game for both sides, or excuse me, for Husson will be.
And of course, Lesley playing in the midweek. Certainly, in having to make this drive up here, they've had just so many away games and being played. I believe they have in their entire schedule 11 away games to, I think, only 6 at home.
Yeah, this is their third away game in a row.
They will have 2 more as their next match. I believe they play UMaine Presque Isle. Here's Lesley looking to put one in and not able to find a green shirt that time.
I would have liked to see if she would have put a little bit of air under that ball to try to maybe go for a cross.
Sometimes when you do have people running that fast, the ball in the air might actually slow down. You can overrun it. So, yeah, it's definitely tough in those scenarios.
Yep.
But a ball on the ground that time maybe ensures a little more. I can't say for sure, but it ensures a little bit more that you might have a chance to get a player on the end of it. Unlucky that time is Lesley break. And again, just not able to find that final pass.
Great defensive start for both teams. Very, very critical in these first couple minutes of the game.
Yeah, limiting shots. Good shots. This Lesley team, they're a high quantity, low quality type of team. As we have a through ball here to Cortez, Emma Nicholson, though, makes a good defensive read on it, as that one's going to go out. Should be Leslie's ball here, and it will be Cortez with the throw in.
Sustained pressure from Lesley. As Lopez on the throw-in. And clear the way that time. Lesley with a good chance here to get something with this throw-in here and maybe manage a cross. They'll go long. Cruz unable to just get the time as Nicholson defended well.
She's already got maybe 3 or 4 good defensive plays just in the first 10 minutes of this one.
And that one headed away by Gerfen.
And this is going to be their maybe 3rd throw-in in a row. Husson's defense not giving any room.
Oh, and they're getting it out for more throws rather than a corner.
But for Lesley, it's important that they keep it in the zone.
Again, that sustained pressure there is a cross. Not able to get too much on that one was Lopez. Not where she wanted it.
And you know, Leslie's just working for a throw-in to get a shot off. It doesn't have to be the nicest shot, but, you know, anytime that they have space to shoot, they're going to be looking to shoot that.
Again, not too many on goal as Weigler goes short.
That was a good move there to go short.
She's able to see the field very, very well. Again, she's just a huge presence for this Eagles team, and they're very glad to have her back. But in her absence, Gabby Smith did just an incredible job. I don't think Dennis Mullins could have asked for anything better.
Yeah, no, that Fort Kent game, the first half was really good.
Perhaps those 2 goals will make it look like a better scoreline, but in the end, it really was not that.
And one of those goals might have went off of the hand of a player, but not our decision to make.
No, there were questions about whether or not those free kicks should have been awarded, but that's all in the past.
And just like that's a prime example of their shots per game, as that'd be Zoe Cortez just kind of shooting one, you know, not really intending to go in the back of the net, but you got to wonder, you know, would you rather have possession or would you rather just waste a shot? And it seems Husson's going to allow them to take any shot from, you know, 150 feet out.
And the speed was pulled down that time. It's a very good argument because sometimes they do say, well, just the more shots you get, the more that you're able to attack and maybe get more goals, but we've seen that work against them so far in their games. I mean, it's not really worked how they'd like, whereas Husson do get chances, but they get quality chances, and it reflects on their score lines.
Yep. It's just up to the coaching, you know. Is it you want quality over quantity?
Also look for some quality here as Gerfen will take the throw. Into Dunn.
I mean, it seems like they want quantity over quality here because they average 17 shots per game, but only 1 goal per game. So.
Yeah, I'm not great at math, but that's not a great percentage.
No, it's not.
I'm not even going to try to.
I mean, yeah, I can't even.
I thought about it for a second, but I don't want to embarrass myself. Nobody needs to know that I'm not good at math. Yeah. Even though I just said it. I don't think anybody heard it.
Yeah, nobody heard that.
So headed away strongly by Nicholson. But only as far as Lopez. Lesley seeing a lot more of the possession early this half as that one. All the Crew's unable to find her. They do find her now. Here's Kohler. 2 Eagles on her. And Nicholson clears. Eddie Lesley. The good turn there down the sideline. Playing in St. Louis. But Duskasey the first to get there. Having to see just a little bit of the Husson attackers come forward more and get in the play, as is the case when you do have 2 up top. One of them will have to come in more inside and get on the ball, and as Lesley's doing. Gotta be careful with this game. It's you got Addie Lesley and they're playing Lesley.
Yeah.
It certainly can be deceiving if I'm not careful. Gotta make sure that I'm on top of my game too, as that one's a good clear away by Gerfen.
I mean, this is about as balanced of a game we're going to see from both of these teams. Maybe favors Lesley at the moment as they're able to really take time of possession in their zone, but not much of a difference.
I think this is exactly what Paul Vasconcelos would have wanted from his side, to really challenge Husson early and get them off their game. Again, Gabe mentioned those early goals, or those 2 goals coming so early in their last game, and they've certainly been held to a few chances. The chances that they have had, other than the one Lesley attempt that went over the bar, have not been really much of a quality.
Yeah, and as an athlete, when you have a week off, it's not the best as far as, consistency goes and momentum. So you have a big win against Kent 4-2, and you don't play for another week. Maybe that can take a little bit of a time to get back into rhythm, knock some rust off. So I think maybe that's what we're seeing from Husson here, and why they're maybe a little lackluster defensively. But we'll see if they can start stringing some stuff together and get back to what they looked like last Saturday here.
Able to switch the play that time with speed. As Husson wasteful in possession. Good ball by St. Louis. Lesley let her run for speed, but just not able to catch up to it. They'll get the throw. Battling for was Tarbox, and now Shagnon trying to find Cortez on that one, unable to. It's back with Husson now. Nicholson finds Lesley, and Speed looking for the ball over the top to St. Louis. As Paige Dunn will just try and get on the end of something there. Didn't look good in the end, but one would be remiss for saying that's not a good chance. She can score from pretty far out.
Well, I liked Husson's time of possession there, being able to possess the ball, not force really anything until the end there. And this is one of those games where it might be a goal like that goes in to really break this game open.
I think for Lesley, though, that's got to be a plus for them. If you're already resorting Husson to shooting from out there, I mean, they got to feel like that's a pretty good sign for them.
Yep.
Because yes, they can do it. That's not to say they don't have the quality. They absolutely do. Paige Dunn scored a curler against Fort Kent. But here's their bread and butter with Gerfen and those crosses in the box.
Exactly what they were looking for.
That one hits the crossbar. Lucky break there. Don't think Reed was getting a hand to that one. Gerfen with the ball in. I don't know if she'll count that as a shot, but it definitely hit the crossbar in the end.
Well, I didn't know if it was going to be a cross or a shot, and it just goes off of the post.
Great chance there from the short corner. Tarbox putting it in, but just wide of the post.
Taya Griffin, again, almost scoring.
But for Husson, that's a great attack time on the attack zone. It was, you like that possession there. They got 2 quality shots, so it's what you like to see if you're Husson.
It's just how dangerous they can be. Griffin looks to get fouled there. That one's going to be called back. As Lesley there offside, much to the displeasure of the coaching staff of Husson. That did look close, Nolan.
I thought that was good. and it would have been 1-0. Addie Lesley one-on-one with the goalie is not much.
Yeah,
The keeper is going to be able to do for there. So you can say again, kind of the refs, but let them make their own calls, and the game goes on.
And Husson are going to have to play to their own strengths. I mean, you can't really rely too much on the calls that were or were not. I mean, at the end of the day, if you put the ball in the back of the net, I mean, that's really what you got to look to, your chances. And Husson have had a few early on here. They have to stick to their game as another offside flag comes up on Lesley. Another tight call. I believe that was the right decision that time, though. She did look just a fraction off.
Yep. And that last one was very difficult to call. That one there, a little bit easier.
Just these small mistakes by Husson early on have kind of, changed the momentum a little bit. You feel like the game could be 1-0 if they just control some of these mistakes.
There's Cruz just trying to find something, but again, the end product not there. Again, another chance for Lesley to be through on goal. Husson have to count themselves lucky as these chances are coming, but we haven't seen the quality that we've seen from these Husson attackers from the Lesley side.
Yeah, and kind of what this game is, it's Lesley with the quantity, and it's Husson with the quality. So, Husson's, how they want to score is they want to get that ball to Lesley, to Garfin. They want to get those balls to their goal scorers and see if they can go make a play.
And yes, you do have to say that Husson's chances have been the better, but you got to feel if Lesley keep getting these chances, they are going to score one. So you really, I think Dennis Mullins would have been telling his team you want to limit the chances. As a great slide tackle there from Kaylee Nault.
Yeah, one of the best defensive players on this team is Kaylee Nault.
Showing why she's earning of her start today.
Just having a good stay-at-home defenseman or defensive player is so tough, and it's so reliable, and it's got to make the coaching staff so happy when you have such a good veteran player back there that's reliable.
Here's the throw. And that one goes right to Husson. And he called for a foul there. Unsure that time what that was about, but referee thought it was clear. So you see Curtaz likely be the one to take it. She's in conversation with Shagnon. One of them will take it. 3 players over the ball. It will be Curtaz. And what an effort! That caught Weigler by surprise. And Lesley have an early advantage.
Off of the free kick, it looked like Weigler maybe expected it to go to the first wall kind of in front, and it just a perfect, well-placed shot as Weigler not able to stop that. She got a hand on it, but not able to stop it as a really, really good shot.
Sometimes they are like that. You just can't stop everything. That was some kind of effort. So we see substitution now. Jackie Pangburn coming on for Devin St. Louis. She's someone who, as Husson look for an equalizer now as they find themselves behind, she's someone who can definitely turn the tide.
Yeah, had NAC Rookie of the Week last week. So definitely can change the tide here as Husson's going to need it because now all this momentum gone the Lesley side. And what was such a 50-50 game, it's now all Lesley here as Curtaz.
Here's Curtaz. Options in the middle. And looking to the back post. And failed clearance there leads to a Cruz shot. Husson finding themselves on the back foot here.
And the best opportunity of the game just happened right there as Cruz caught the ball under her foot, maybe a little bit too much there.
Yeah, caught it on the half volley there. Just, again, that's always a tough one. But Husson finding themselves in a situation here that they didn't think they'd expect to be in.
Yeah, they got to see how they can respond now. Now, this is going to be the most important moment of the game, at least the first half, is how you respond here. You can go down 2-0 and really check yourself out of the game, or you can come back strong and play a very competitive game. We'll see what Husson decides to do.
Griffin in a tight battle there with Lopez, but able to retain possession. Not for too long. As this one will go for an offside. That one was clear.
Yep.
Shagnon. Just too much. He just took that step a little too soon. That's certainly a strong point of this Husson team. They do cause a lot of offsides. Their defensive line is very skilled and very knowledgeable in that. We've seen it from Lesley too, catching Husson out a couple of times. So far, Gabe, in this first half, Lesley having to feel confident. What do you think? What do you think they're thinking?
Back to Nolan's point earlier, Husson's just maybe still shaking that rust off from their week off. Lesley's been attacking more. They've had more opportunities, but as I said before too, Husson's just making these small mistakes, and one of those mistakes led to that Lesley goal. And some of these opportunities Lesley is getting are coming from these Husson mistakes, and so it could be the rust, and they just have to find themselves so far, Husson.
Certainly an argument. As we were talking earlier, is it better to be rested or is it better to have played? When you are rested, you lack that sharpness, but you gain back fitness, which is so crucial. As
turnover for Husson.
Yeah, Speed was just clattered into there, and she'll stay down. As surprising there wouldn't have been a call on that. It was clear contact, but they'll stop the game for it. But as we mentioned, it is a tricky circumstance when you do talk about a week in between games, when you don't play in the midweek. Sometimes you just lack a little bit of that, of your footing early in games.
Yep. I mean, you can practice as much as you want, but practice will never amount to or be or play like the way a game plays. Everything kind of goes out the window, what you've done in practice whenever it's game day. So if I had to guess, that would be a little bit of maybe what's going on with Husson here. I think they've made a little bit of mental mistakes, but I think as much as they're making those mistakes, it's only 1-0 right now. So if they can keep this half close, and this second half, it could open up.
I think it has to start with their defense too. I think you never like to see a player go down, as Speed will be helped back to her feet, and much to the applause of the fans here, the spectators at Boucher. It didn't look a great challenge from our viewpoint here, and she'll be helped off, but you got to think it's not good for Husson to see a player go down, especially as good as Speed is. But you do have a break, you do have a chance to sort of regroup from that goal, whereas again, maybe you didn't with how quickly we got back to playing. Now Dennis Mullins has a chance to talk to his team, to settle some nerves and really just try and help his team here. Help him figure out. I know he was definitely vocal. I could hear him vocal, just screaming at his players, his displeasure in there, allowing so much of the Lesley chances prior to that goal. And now he'll have the chance to really get his message across. Husson will get the game back underway. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nolan. Do they have 10 players out? Looks like Husson playing down to 10 players. Doesn't matter, though. Here's Pangburn looking to run on. Unable to. Well,
Yeah, I mean, I counted 10.
I believe that a substitution. I believe there was a substitution made, and I believe Ailey Irons came in for Riley Speed. We will have a substitution now for Lesley. As Milana Rosaza comes in. And Kohler with a ball in there that found the goalkeeper.
Good read there by Wagler. And at this point, Lesley just doing a really, really good job at keeping the ball in Husson's own end. If you're Husson, you got to try to, make an aggressive move to see if you can switch fields here.
We haven't seen too many Husson chances since those quick two from Gerfen.
Yeah, it really hasn't been Husson on the attack most of the game. Leslie's really had possession.
You got to think now, coming up on a half hour played, that Husson will sort of turn it on here and get some quick offense.
Yeah, I think you have to. But again, like I said earlier, if you can keep this 1-0 going into the second half, I really like Husson's chances. They just can't fold here. They can't allow another one.
I mean, yeah, especially with the way Leslie's been playing, keeping the ball in the attack zone, and they only have one goal.
Pangburn just too big of a touch there. She'll immediately look to win it back after losing it. And trying to play through Rosaza, but I believe she would have been offside, as Pangburn will let that run to Irons. Looking for some support. Tried to play a ball to Tarbox, but first to it was Lesley, and that'll go for a goal kick.
Yeah, the most possession we've seen in the last 10 minutes from Husson right there. A couple of good headers from Pangburn and Addie Lesley over to Irons, and the through ball is just a little bit too much.
But it was a good push from Husson. That's what you want to see after these last couple minutes of the game.
This one will go, Dunn will go long. Unable to find anybody that time. Shielding that one was Maddie Doscozy. And Reed will get another goal kick. This one will ending the threat, at least for the moment. As again, we see just this Lesley team establishing possession here in Husson's part of the field. As we see Laura Martell incoming. She'll have to wait, but Husson changing it up a little bit here. Another shield up the ball by Discozy. It's a long throw. Looking for Svika, but unable to find her as Lesley will get a free kick. In some pain here after that foul. So we'll have another stoppage. It's 12:34 left in this first half. What do you like so far, Nolan?
Well, from Husson's point of view, I like their defense, their ability to sustain the pressure that's Lesley's putting on. They're not allowing the highest quality of shots, and I think that's great. But with them playing defense so much, they're lacking offense. And at this point right now, you would like some offense being down a goal. So I think right now, try to be as aggressive as you can the next 12 minutes, but you also want to be reliable defensively. So we'll see off this free kick right here. As Kaylee Nolt's going to be kicking it, we'll see what their mindset is.
Gabe for Lesley here this last couple of minutes. So we see Tarbox touching one on and just not able to find Pangburn. Another good chance from the Eagles from a set piece. And Gabe, this Lesley team, you're up a goal. Do you sit off and try and maintain this 1-goal lead with 12 minutes remaining, or do you push on for another one, strike while the iron's hot?
Well, I think they should just continue doing what they're doing, keeping the ball out of the attack zone for Husson, and it's working because Husson is not getting very many opportunities. And if they can just keep, luring Husson into these small mistakes that they've been making all game, they can keep doing what they're doing so far. And Lesley, again, having the ball in the attack zone right now, so if you're Lesley, you got to be happy with the way you're playing right now.
They haven't done a tremendous job, Husson, of winning those 50-50 battles, something that was key in their 2 wins over St. Joseph and Fort Kent. We saw them win the first ball and the second ball in most cases, but they're finding it hard so far this half. And certainly not for a lack of trying, but it's just not coming off for them. Cruz taking off the ball. Here's Tarbox trying to play Gerfin on the overlap. And this one will be booted long by Reed. No, on the header. Nicholson will get there. The on-running run of Cruz. And Weigler will clear it. This one will be one on, but unable to make anything of it as Reed gets another clear.
It's just when Husson has the ball, you notice when they go into the attack zone, it's like they have these quick passes, but it doesn't work out. When Lesley, they keep possession of the ball, they have these cleaner passes, and just they look more ready and calm on that field. As Husson's just, they look very tense out there.
Nicholson clears it. Awfully close to the spectators down there. Sounded for a minute like it might have hit one of them, but it hit a chair. Got to protect those guys. They're important.
Have to. Is Lindsay looking for
Pangburn
Yep.
wasn't able to just catch up to it. That's certainly been a theme for the Eagles. They're just through balls just a little bit too long. They haven't had the time, again, as we so mentioned, that they had with Fort Kent.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to get the halftime report and kind of see what the possessions are going to be looking like for both sides here.
So You see the second or third Eagles corner here is this one out to pour in the end.
Yeah, and they're aiming to go for the short passes instead of going for the cross. We saw it almost work out one time, so seems as if they're going to stick with that game plan as this game goes on.
But you do have to get that ball if you're going for the near post. So you see another collision.
Yeah, been a pretty physical game for both sides here.
Yeah, and you got to feel, even as a neutral, I understand we're Husson Eagles Sports Network, but as a neutral, I mean, the ref has missed a few today.
Yep.
Yeah, call is definitely leading towards Lesley.
Griffin now with some pressure. So we'll go all the way back to Weigler. She'll play it out from the back. 8 minutes remain in this first half. Eagles still down by 1 goal. That was a wonderful free kick. Zoe Curtaz has this one a run on. Griffin will be the first to it. She'll just take the shot, and well, she had to. No other option but to shoot.
Yep.
Straight at Reed.
Great opportunity for Husson there, though. I didn't mind that shot.
Here's Tarbox. Reed, they're being forced back again, Husson, all the way back. Lesley doing a great job just denying Husson options. Weigler having to come all the way out, just 20 yards out or so, just to get a play on the ball. As this one will be run on and got to first.
Very risky for her to come out that far if she didn't get to it.
No, that was on running was Ilana Rosaza, who stands 5'10". So definitely a challenge for any goalkeeper. So you see 2 substitutions here. As Charlotte Mike Sell comes in. As does Lily Wright. Spatafor with the throw. Tarbox unable to shield it. Lesley now looking to mount another attack. Passing the ball well. It's a through ball here. But Nault was first to it. Martell, who came in earlier in this game, not had much of the ball. I believe that might be some of her first touches there. Just again goes back to how well Lesley have kept those Husson midfielders quiet. Now a ball over the top, but just unable to do anything with it was Curtaz.
Yeah, I could have seen this game go to 2-0 right there if Cortez able to settle that ball down.
Again, Husson's defense having to be strong there. We have seen them fold. Again, that free kick is the reason for them being 1-0 down, but as you said, Nolan, easily could have been 2. Easily could have been 3 just a couple of minutes ago, if not for Weigler coming out as she does here to collect this one. She'll leave it for Nault. Husson now. Time not on their side in this first half.
It's another turnover there for them.
Other than that 1 goal, she has been strong for them in that security blanket that is so crucial for any team. And Martell unable to control it. Tarbox looking to flick it on to Pangburn, but unable to. It's a good shield of the ball by Wright. It'll end in a Lesley throw. Tarbox looking to find her again was Martell, but again, great passing here. There's a couple of moves there by Kohler. Goes quickly to Tarbox. And it's still in, and Pangburn running onto it. Just been held in check by this Lesley defense. She's someone who, as we mentioned, can really get a hold of one. She had could have had a hat trick a couple of games ago and on the score sheet last week. She'd do well to get on the score sheet again here. Husson will need her to if they want to get back into this one.
Yeah, Husson here just the last 2 minutes, it seems as if both teams kind of playing here in the neutral zone.
There's Gerfen. Almost feels as if Husson, the way this game has gone, they would take 1-0 at the half. Of course, all that could change with the goal here. As Reed leaves it for Irons. Pangburn just not able to get enough on it. Still could be in there. Nault plays it long. Cleared only as far as Nicholson.
But again, you like to see that attack time for Husson, as they haven't had really much attack time in this first half.
Well, then these last 2 minutes, sort of a reflection of the last half hour here. It's just not a lot of chances for one side. That side playing in green.
Oh, and the only goal, you talk about not a lot of chances. The only goal coming off of a free kick from way out. So Husson, the next goal is going to have to be kind of off of a break or off of maybe like a little bit of a lucky play here, as it just seems so evenly matched.
Lopez now switching sides. Now playing on the far side. Should look to get across in that time. Here's Kohler. Who I believe also switched sides. Both of them were playing on the right and have switched to the left here. And just we'll see a stoppage of the clock here. Will we see a card issued? And just a talking to from the ref. Spatafor and Tarbox got into it on the little bit on the touchline there. Referee looking to just take control of the game.
Yeah, they were being a little bit physical there, a little bit of push and shoving.
There's 15 seconds left as Lesley will just try and hold it here. This one headed clear. And we won't have time for the throw, and that is that. The end of the first 45 minutes. Husson find themselves down 1-0, and as we mentioned, I think they'll take that coming into this half. They were much, much the lesser team in this one. What have you guys' thoughts been so far? I'll start with you, Nolan.
Yeah, I think, as far as the score goes, Husson's done a really good job defensively at kind of staying in the pocket there defensively and being reliable. I thought Madison Wagler's been excellent so far. As far as their offense goes, you've got to string stuff together. They've had maybe 2 scoring chances that were right there. So they're not completely out of this. They're not getting dominated by Lesley. So you want to have that penalty corner. You want to make that cross, that extra pass, and try to get your shots on right now.
And we've seen, the referee obviously having to talk to both Tarbox and Spatafor towards the end there, but there were one or two more challenges. Well, more than that, 3 or 4. Certainly a lot. It's been a physical game. Do you think that's been part of Leslie's game to try and throw the champions out of their momentum, off of their balance?
100%, and it's working. I think Leslie's, they're doing a really good job at getting under the skin, if you will, of Husson. Husson's got to be resilient. They can't worry about that. They have to try to go separate and realize, hey, Leslie's going to try to, be physical, be pushy. You have to ignore that. You can see it's getting into Husson's heads. And you have to just try to ignore that the best you can. It's not easy, but, cooler heads are going to prevail in this game. So we'll see how Husson handles it.
And, Gabe, for Lesley, you find yourself 1-0 up. You're dominating the game. You've really made a lot of crucial chances. You maybe are ruining some missed ones. You very easily could be 2-0, 3-0 up in this one. How do you carry that momentum into the second half? Because presumably Husson's going to come back strong, and they're going to come back with a lot of chances, one would think.
Yeah, no. If you're Lesley, you just got to keep that same like mindset going into the second half, because they've been playing great so far, like just with their attack time. And if you're Husson, you have to, kind of keep that momentum from where you had at the end of the half. They had a little bit of chances to score, but not too much attack time. So if you're Husson, you got to come out of the half strong, knowing that they have chances and they have the opportunities. But going back to what Nolan said, Lesley is getting in their heads, I think. And the week off, going back to it, could be a reason, as they're still shaking rust off. But going into the second half, it should be interesting to see what happens. And Lesley, can they keep their momentum, or can Husson turn things around?
Certainly a fiery first half for both teams. We'll see if that fire will continue or if cooler heads will prevail. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll have the second half for you on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. We'll be right back. Fans at Boucher sitting back in their seats, ready for the start of the second half, as are we. And Husson straight from the kickoff, applying pressure here. As that's Addie Lesley looking to get a chance, but blocked. And away for the first corner. Husson off the blocks here quickly. As was to be expected. That would have been something that Dennis Mullins would have said to his team. As we see, didn't create enough chances that first half. They'll get one here with the corner. Oh, that's a wasted effort.
Yeah, tough one there. Looking for a cross, maybe a deflection to go in the back of the net, and it just doesn't even make it to the front of the net. That's a tough play there, and wouldn't expect that from somebody like Lesley, so definitely wasted corner.
Especially after the first half, it's a great opportunity right at the beginning of the second half, and couldn't get it done.
Yeah, I mean, you score there. I mean, you set the tone for the second half. The game changes.
I mean, you completely take the momentum away from Lesley.
Yeah.
The possession stats from that first half, well, they favor Lesley, and it's no surprise. But, I mean, look at just the final third, 35% just in the 18.
Yeah, it's just it's tough. You could feel it that way, and you have to, give a little bit of credit here as a cross from Lesley.
Lesley with the ball in, and, well, Dennis Mullins frustrated with that one because he felt that Jillian Long was fouled on that one, but not able to make strong enough contact on that was Long.
I like what I'm seeing here, though, early in the second half. Husson putting some pressure on with two early opportunities there.
Well, I would say Dennis Mullins did not hold back.
Yeah, he's not really happy right now.
Here is Long. And getting back to that first half possession stats, I mean, again, the Eagles dominated in possessions, dominated in chances as well. Actually, I'm reading that wrong. The Eagles actually had more of the chances. They had 5 to only the Lynx 3. Shots on goal, of course. Off goal is a different story. Here's Lesley. Just not able to catch up to it. That time was Gerfen. Be out off her. Lynx will get the throw. And Reed having to make 2 saves, and her counterpart Weigler only the 1 save and the 1 goal allowed.
Yeah, both goalies, I thought, read the plays well. You Reed over there for Lesley saw the ball a little bit more than Weigler, but both here, I thought they've both, they've been the difference makers so far for this game, because there's been chances for Husson, those 2 chances, by Gerfen in the first half, and then a couple of chances for Lesley where Weigler's had to make a good play.
Both keepers numerous times having to come out and in defense and really play from the back to aid the defense, I should say, and play it out from the back using their feet. That's something that, of course, Weigler is very, very strong in, and Reed has shown strength in as well. Eagles forcing it all the way back again. Here is Weigler. It's a lot of time. Pressure finally coming. Thrown out for the Lynx. And Cruz just not able to get a good touch on it. I'll go Husson's way. As the, taken off the ball there. Lynx could break. And just pass not there.
Lesley continuing this pressure that we saw all first half, really. See how a counterattack from Husson could play.
And as the second half really gets rolling, don't forget, after this game, we aren't done. As the men also hosting Lesley today. This is, again, the first game of a double-header today. That one will be exciting. Don't want to miss it.
Yep.
Kickoff is scheduled for 3:30. And focusing back on this game now, it's Weinzimmer standing over the free kick for Lesley. She'll find Cruz, who'll look to turn, just unable to there. Away by Nichols. Lesley can run onto it. And yeah, touch lets her down that time. She's looking to play it forward and get by her defender there, but just unable to. Long throws it forward for Pangburn, who can get on the end of it and just closed down by 3 or 4 Lesley defenders that time, all over her.
Yeah, it's like they were on strings, just all coming together at the right time. As Pangburn, again, earlier in the first half, she would have had one if the defense wasn't there.
It's a poor clearance that time by Higgins. The Lynx capitalizing on this one here. They'll go wide and floating a ball in. This one will be Weigler to deal with it, and just a clean pair of hands there that time.
Here, head coach Dennis Mullins yelling quick as they're trying to get a breakout, maybe catch Lesley walking back.
Well, they certainly didn't go quick that time, but certainly seeing one team again in Lesley just having more of the quality chances. As Pangburn can run on the end of this one again, but again, Reed will be first to it. That long ball over the top just has not worked for the Eagles. Didn't work at all in the first half, and it's showing like the second half is more the same. And 2 Husson players that time, and Dunn and Reed coming together. We'll see a substitution now. So Cortez coming back into the game.
The lone goal scorer.
Coming in to replace Klopowski.
Thrown in there. Addie Lesley laying the body.
That was a good, clean hit.
And physicality now as she gets up and looking for
Husson.
Pangburn. And she does score. A 3rd straight goal, and you can see what it means to her. Husson have found a way back here in the second half. And it's the freshman Jackie Pangburn again on the score sheet. So lethal. And the Eagles are level here at Boucher.
And that play starts at midfield with number 6, Addie Lesley, laying a clean hit, body to body, getting the ball up and laying a nice through ball, good touch, and Pangburn able to connect. It looked like to me maybe the goalkeeper, Madison Reed, got contact on it. I'm not sure, but what a goal for Pangburn. This one's 1-1. This changes the whole momentum of this match now.
And Husson had these opportunities all first half. Not some great ones, but they had them. And finally, you're going to have to think, eventually they're going to get a goal.
And again, just the absolute right place, right time for Pangburn. She's making a habit of that. And certainly it's just such a welcomed presence for the Eagles. She's had to spark the offense at times, and she has done again here today. As this is a great ball into Cruz, and Lesley looking for a response.
You know, and she was just carrying her Rookie of the Week performance into this game with another goal.
Well deserving of that award, as this one will run through to Weigler. She has definitely put a lot of people on notice. Her impact, again, recognized by the North Atlantic Conference. She'll be putting in her bid to win that again with this week. Unable to find her that time. And it was a good strike in the near post. Again, as Nolan mentioned, Reed did get a hand on it, but just sometimes it is too powerful of a strike. And from such close range, I mean, she had to score, and she did well.
You know, what I've noticed from this second half so far is Husson's possessions look so much better than they did in the first half. They look like they're more calm when they have the ball, and they know what they're doing. They have a plan with where they want to go with it. Whereas in the first half, they just looked lost whenever they had the ball.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to what we said in the first half, where they had a week off, so it wasn't it wasn't easy. Coming in, shaking off some rust. Maybe that first half, maybe they did just shake off the rust, and now they're back. They're able to play calmer and cleaner here. As Lesley's on it here, Lily Wright. Right with it.
Trying to play in Cruz there, but just unable to. That'll go all the way to Weigler. Seeing a resurgence of energy from this team, from this Husson team since that goal, as we are moments away from another substitution. Devin St. Louis gearing up to come on.
And going back to what Nolan was saying, maybe that halftime was really all they needed to just start this team up.
Lesley with the ball in. Here's Pangburn. Lesley has time and a great move there. Looking to find Reed, just unable to. Defense got there first.
Another great chance for Husson there.
Yeah, we're seeing Addie Lesley come alive in this second half, making that play over there. Good dribble from left to right.
And she will depart here for Devin St. Louis, as she has done a lot of running. She's been pushed wide tactically by Dennis Mullins, and again, just playing great in that area. Of course, assisting the Pangburn goal on that one.
Yeah, much deserved rest for Addie Lesley.
Absolutely. So we see the ball put in there by Martel, and Long unable to reach it.
Lesley goalkeeper Madison Reed. There's the kick. Cruz misses it.
Reed battling for it in there. And right now. And again, unable to find anybody. Not sure that was the right option that time.
I thought this whole half, we're 15 minutes into this half now, and I've seen Husson suppressing Lesley's chances. Any offensive attack that Lesley's had, it's been reduced by the defense of Husson. You have to imagine at halftime, head coach Dennis Mullins was aggressive with that approach.
Well, you have to be. I mean, again, this team won the North Atlantic Conference last year. I mean, it's hard if you're a coach to look at the quality in this team and think how you can be behind. No offense to Lesley, but it is Lesley. I mean, they're not. They really haven't shown anybody that they can be that competitive, and that's not a knock on them. They've played very, very hard teams, but compared to this Husson side, compared to the team that won it all last year. And you got to feel that Dennis Mullins did have to go out and really get after his players because their performance just wasn't good enough. They'd been outplayed, outworked in every sense of the imagination as the ball comes in to St. Louis, who isn't able to get a square header on it.
Good cross from Gerfin, looking for the header there from St. Louis, and oh man,
So close.
Would this crowd have been electric?
They've already seen one goal from this Husson team this half.
But the resilience of the Eagles here today.
I mean, from the first half to the second half, it just looks like both teams completely switched everything. Because now Lesley is the one who looks sloppy on offense when they have the ball, and now Husson looks like they have it together in the attacking zone.
Could be in trouble here defensively, as this one is another Husson throw.
Yep, right in there to Pangburn, going for the header, battling St. Louis.
And again, put in that time by Dunn. That one looked to have maybe gone on the arm, but
good defense there from Lesley as they stopped any chance of Husson getting a clean shot or even a clean pass off. And it seems more of kind of what's been the story for this half is Lesley getting it over into their zone and then just passing it to Madison Weigler almost, not having any type of chances as Husson defense has been great. I say that right as a shot to the right of the cage there.
that's right.
Good opportunity for Lesley. You know, after the start to this half for them, that was a great chance to score, and they just couldn't put it in the net.
That's right. It was Higgins' mistake there that led to Wright almost getting on the end of one. That one could have spelt trouble for Husson. You got to feel that the momentum is on their side, but that can swing just with one kick of the ball. I mean, that one wasn't too far off, and you got to feel that another touch and a little more time on the ball, and that one could have been a real problem for the Eagles.
Yeah, and as soon as I talk about Husson and you know them doing a really good job this half, a scoring chance happens. So I'm just gonna sit over here and be quiet.
We did see a substitution there as Marilla Corletto comes on, getting her first action of the game.
And as we mentioned before, you know, Lesley likes to put shots on goal in a lot of these games, but they're not really able to find the net a lot. So for them, they need these shots should be quality over quantity, as we mentioned in the first half.
And certainly, of course, one of their shots finding the back of the net.
Well, I mean, so they averaged 17 shots a game. In the first half, they had 3 shots. So they've been suppressed in that way. They haven't really been, you know, as much as the tide was turned for Lesley, still not really getting off, you know, as many attempts as they're used to.
They're always going to have trouble against this just stellar Husson defense, as you're going to find trouble to score here. You've got to come with a plan offensively if you are going to play against these tough attackers. I mean, again, you look at Nault and Higgins, who are out there now, but they have some quality sitting on that bench still. Far from bench players.
And a header right there saved the goal.
Yeah, that was
like
a great play.
Pangburn was going to be in all alone there.
Husson really settling into their stride here. And, I mean, it took all of the first half and some of the second half, but we're seeing this Eagles team now play with just that air of confidence again that they seem to be gaining as every match goes by.
And you got to give credit to Lesley here, though, for their defense. You know, 1 or 2 missed plays, and this could be a 3-1 Husson lead. So great job by the defenders to just stop that breakaway.
go the way of Husson. Pangburn said she didn't touch it, and linesman agreed. Again, another Husson throw. Still have not seen the emergence of Riley Speed, who went down in that first half. Haley Irons came back in her place. We will see now a couple of substitutions here. First for the Eagles. Kendra Donahue coming on for Madison Higgins. And Kylie Shagdon into the match as well. She comes on for Lily Wright, I believe, who had that chance. That went wide of Weigler's net. Here's Dunn. Looking to play one over the top to St. Louis. She can put a ball in if she gets some space. She does get some space. Here's the ball in, and Pangburn was in there, but just unable to get to it. Reed with a good read, able to get it.
Yeah, and a great play from St. Louis to get the ball in an open spot where she can attempt the cross. And I thought she did a really good job of getting that one away. Just like you said, a good read from Leslie's goalie, Madison Reed.
That wasn't a pun, by the way. I do have to be more concise with my words, but still a great anticipation to get to it. I mean, that just the tiniest head on it, that would have found the back of the net for sure.
Yep.
And again, Husson just putting so much pressure on in the second half. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they score within the next 10 minutes.
Slavica with the ball, trying that time to find Rosota. Lesley really have been second best this second half, and they'll need something for sure to sort of get themselves back into this one. We saw a number of counterattacks in the first half in those opening minutes that led to a lot of possession for them and really establishing their presence in this game. Haven't seen that so much in this second half, although they will get this free kick. See them score from one free kick. And it was Cortez on it the last time. This one probably too far out, I would think. Looking to get a good ball in and find the head of one of her teammates. This one swung in. And not going to be won by anybody. That one will go out, and Weigler will collect.
Exactly what they were looking for there as Cortez winded up looking for a header over there. And as you said, just overshot it a little bit. And Weigler's going to have it now.
And Slivka will come off. And I believe she is replaced by Ella Stanley.
A tough giveaway there for Husson.
And they got to avoid getting back into that trap that they found themselves in for seemingly a half hour of just all Lesley possession, leading to a number of chances, one of which, again, that free kick that led to the goal directly. But Husson looked much a better side this second half. And they'll leave one for Jillian Long to run onto. That one will go out of play, though.
Just a little bit too much touch on that.
And Gabe, what has been the difference from Lesley? I mean, it seems like we're seeing a different team the second half. They're not playing with that just dominance that they did in the first half.
You know, I'm not really sure what happened over that halftime because, I mean, you're 100% correct. They don't look the same at all. But these past couple minutes, their possession time has picked up a little bit, so they're putting a little bit more pressure back on Husson. But as they just turn it over back to Husson, they just have to keep control of the ball like they did in the first half. What they were doing in the first was working, and Husson's just finding a way to have better possessions now in the attack zone, and Lesley just isn't, as they have a chance here.
Again, that all sorts of chances for the Eagles. That time was a great ball in by Gerfin, unable to be met to it. That was Pangburn.
I would like to see St. Louis take that shot. She decided to pass it to Jillian Long, but I would like to see her take that shot there. I thought she had an opportunity.
Just opportunities galore for the Eagles at this point. And back to your point, Gabe, I think for Lesley, they've really just let Husson back into this game by letting them play their game. It's just been all Husson, really. I mean, Lesley can count themselves maybe unfortunate because they've had one or two mistakes from the Eagles that they maybe could have capitalized on, but they haven't been great, any prime chances for them, you know, in one-on-one or in close. And you got to feel that the momentum's all with Husson right now. I mean, we just saw that scoring chance with St. Louis and Long and, of course, Pangburn, who already has a goal. But you got to feel it's just been the case that Lesley have let Husson play their game. Donahue first to it. She'll win it. And Pangburn looking to flick it on to St. Louis, but unable to. St. Louis there, able to find Pangburn, who finds Long. And she has a little bit of space to run into. Fire went in, and just not able to be met. But it's still in the air here, and Reed finally collects, ending the threat.
Great job by Reed right there to find that ball before Husson did.
Yeah, and what a chance, right? And good effort there by Jillian Long to get to that ball and still have an opportunity to put a cross on. But resilience there from Madison Reed, doing a really good job at not folding under pressure, staying calm, and being able to clear the ball.
Donahue to take the throw. She'll go long. Looking for Reed.
Donahue with a couple of kicks there, keeping it in.
Good intercept by Carletto. Pangburn can run onto it.
And the effort by Pangburn, I mean, you would have wanted to get her a goal right there. The effort, outstanding. As now it's the other way to Lesley.
And here it is. One-on-one. Weigler with a big save there. Ball still free. And finally getting out of trouble, but a great defensive stand there. Great awareness by Weigler. That was a clear, maybe the clearest opportunity of the day for Lesley, and it was just squandered.
Yeah, aggressiveness, right, from Madison Weigler there. As aggressive as you can be. And for Lesley there, that's a chance that if this game, if you go to lose this game, that's a chance you're going to be thinking about the whole ride home.
And it was Shagnon with that chance.
Very, very risky for Weigler to come out there, but it eventually ended up being smart. So
she also had great support from Donahue as well to be able to have the ability to go out.
Yep. Easily Leslie's biggest scoring chance of this game so far.
Yep.
You mentioned it was a great risk, but it was one that had to be made, and that is exactly why she's Husson's number one.
Yeah, if you're Weigler in that spot, you don't go for it, then you give, you give Kylie Shagan the whole area to score that. So
yep.
We will see a sub now. Be Addie Lesley coming back on, and Jackie Pangburn coming off. Again, scoring that all-important goal for Husson that leveled the match.
And who assisted it to her was Addie Lesley, who comes back on. So we'll see if she's got a little bit more magic left in this second half. Next goal to me, I'm going to say game winner.
Lesley coming on now in that central attacking role. She came on her previous time for out on the wing where Devin St. Louis is now. She looks to have moved to the right. Again, there'll be a lot of changing between the two as Husson will go back to their 4-4-2.
Donahue here to throw this one in.
Lesley with the header. And now, Nicholson ending the threat. Pressure by the Eagles, forcing that one out. Donahue had to have been active on the ball a lot this half with the throw-in. What a mistake there, and Reed able to collect. That was a big mistake by Ducosi, almost leading to what would have been through on goal for the Eagles. A big chance there, wasted. And here's De Rosa, but that shot not finding where she wanted it to.
Yeah, that opportunity right there, that's going to be another one that it's going to sting if this game doesn't go their way.
You have to feel that just the lack of possession maybe leading to that chance being wasted. You have to feel like in the first half that one would have found the back of the net.
Yeah.
But as it stands, it's still 1-1. The second half just coming alive now for both teams. It hasn't been one dull moment.
No, yeah, like both teams have had multiple opportunities this half for.
And here's another one. It's Lesley. She's through on goal. And Addie Lesley just not able to find the back of the net there.
And again, it's like table tennis right now, the way these teams are playing, chances for chances. And Lesley with a great one there. You want to see that ball get lifted in the air a little bit right there.
Yeah, she went for the near side, and that's where Reed was always going to be the strongest, but still, it's a tough thing to do to save that from there as Carletto will take the corner. But
I mean,
standing strong.
It was a good read by Reed, you know?
Husson looking to flood the near post maybe. And first to it was Lesley. Oh, and just nearly a spectacular effort from Devin St. Louis there. That would have been a backheel goal, I believe, but just not able to get the connection she wanted on it.
Just another great chance for Husson there.
His girlfriend with it.
Girlfriend. Looking for Tarbach. She'll find her. And Reed coming out. Oh, and Tarbach's from just a tough angle.
The aggressiveness there from Lesley, keeper Madison Reed, forcing really no angle for Tarbach to put one on goal.
She's had to be strong this second half. She's seen certainly a lot more action than she did in the first half. 3 or 4 good chances from the Eagles just in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, as well as maybe two or three chances for Lesley. So it's like this game is opened wide up, way different than what this first half was.
Here's Shagnon taking it down the wing. Long meeting her there and able to get rid of the chance for the moment.
Good header by Long there. Top box on it.
She'll go wide out to Gerfen, who has space. Trying to close her down is Spatafor. She'll put one on, and just a little bobble there from Reed. Had a couple of options that time. Decided to go for a shot. In the end, it proved costly. For the Eagles, that is. She did have the run of St. Louis there. And now we will see a substitution. As Carletto departs for Paige Dunn, who comes back into this one. Donahue with a clear. And St. Louis there, heavy contact, she'll win the foul. As we see just that game plan for Lesley. I mean, that's now the fourth attacker that has been taken out like that.
Yeah, spoke a little bit about it during halftime there. The aggressiveness for Lesley.
Now free kick and a dangerous opportunity. Nault to take it. Looking for Reed. And just not able to finish was St. Louis. She had a touch, but the touch let her down.
Fantastic save by Reed there.
Well, in the end, it just fell to her. You got to feel that St. Louis that time could have put it anywhere and maybe found the back of the net.
Looking for a second goal on the season. And it would have been the biggest goal she scored so far this year. As it potentially could have been a game winner here with 8 minutes to go. Lesley pushing the pace.
And as an attacker, one goal doesn't exactly flatter, but she does such a good job in playing that supporting role as two strikers up top. You do need someone to put in the service and provide the service, and we've seen that from her 3 assists so far this season. But she can definitely do it via the assist or via the goal. Unable to do it that time, she'll be taken off now for Pangburn.
You bring in Pangburn. Talked about it a little bit last week's NAC Rookie of the Week. Coming in, 5 games, 3 goals. Has a goal in this one. So how big can it be if you get her out there, you have Lesley out there, you kind of have everything you need for a game-winning goal.
And you have the momentum. Certainly these last 10 minutes since that one-on-one with Weigler. You got to feel that Husson looked the better of going on now. I do believe that there is another goal in this one. I don't think we're done with the goals today. As Rosada not able to find her teammate there. Now Pangburn will let it run.
Jillian Long there, taking it away. Addie Lesley across, looking for a green shirt.
Great reactions there by Husson attackers and forcing Lesley into a mistake.
Job there by Nicholson. Great hustle to force the throw in.
Now Lesley here, they can perhaps swing the momentum back into their side, but that chance goes wasted. As we enter in 6 minutes left in this one. Boy, this second half has certainly flown by. We've seen just a plethora of chances from both sides here. Eagles responding with 1 goal. Jackie Pangburn gets herself on the score sheet again. Husson trying to see a 3rd successive win here at Boucher. This one's into Pangburn again. And just not able. Good defense there. Not able to get through again. There's the defense there by Ducosi. She has been crucial for this Lesley team.
There she is again. She's been the best defensive player for Lesley so far in this one. And Husson's best defensive player, Nicholson, on it.
Now back up by Nault. Dunn looking to play in. And that one's going to be too long. She looked to play in. Jillian Long that time. Had the option of both her and Addie Lesley, who had that chance. That Reed was first to. That was maybe Husson's best chance to get themselves the lead. Here's Gerfen. Here's Cruz trying to leave it, but unable to. Good defense there, good recovery. Donahue back on it. 4 minutes left. And here come the Lynx, putting presumably all their cards on the table here as they push ahead to try and to reestablish their lead.
Yeah, we're starting to see a little bit more pressure here from Lesley in the final minutes of this game.
Pressure just mounted there, forcing the Lynx into a turnover, and Pangburn, who was off there.
Yeah, she would have been all alone.
I believe she would have been called for offside. She looked to be playing way ahead of that last defender. This one should be Weigler's ball. And she'll just have to clear it. A little late in getting there.
With 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Crucial moments for both teams here. Every play has to be perfect. No mistakes made here.
Tarbox there just looked for a second like she had maybe a wrist problem or something. I'm not sure. She's been involved in a lot of heavy collisions here, some of which have been called from fouls. Others have the referee has let play on. But she has been just a key player for Husson. I mean, she's gone a little bit unnoticed, but when she has had the time and the space, she has delivered for the Eagles. Pangburn to run on this one, but
just looks gassed out there.
She's had to do a lot of running for sure, and substitution St. Louis coming on presumably for her to again give the Eagles that much needed legs as we move to under 2 minutes. Here is Tarbox.
Good.
Seems to have shaken off that earlier injury. She gets around and looking for Pangburn, but not able to find her. Lesley able to win it back well. And Long playing it to Lesley, who tries to touch it on to Pangburn, who was coming on by the back post with that run, but Reed there at first, and she'll hold now. Certainly energy levels have gone up.
You like that offense, though. from Husson is back on it.
Nault wins the header. Here's Dunn. Playing it to Gerfen. Now is the time for the Eagles. We're under 1 minute. She'll look to play one in. Looking to find Lesley. She does find her, but just not the contact she would have wanted. Donahue missed the header there. Sending away Shagnon, but a great defensive stand there that prevented Shagnon. Everybody rushing up. Eagles looking to defend. The Lynx looking for what would be a very, very late goal. 24 on the clock. They'll look to hold this. Now 15 seconds left. It's going to happen for the Eagles. It's got to be soon. I don't think it's going to be, as this game will end 1-1 as Husson able to bounce back from a pretty shaky first half and recover strong, looking definitely the better side in that second half. Unable to find, had a number of good chances to find that second goal, but just not able to complete the entire turnaround today. But still a good effort from them.
Yeah, no doubt. I think Husson fought back in that second half. They did a great job at being resilient. You know, it was a very physical match. They got out, physicaled. That's not a word, but they got outmatched as far as the physicality came, and no matter what, they stood with it, and they came out here and you go with a tie. You want to win for your first conference game, but you could say that they didn't really deserve to win that.
Draw not the end of the world for the Eagles. How do you feel about it if you're Lesley?
If you're Lesley, you got to feel happy about it because you played so well today, especially in that first half. All that applied pressure. They had some great chances, especially in the second half. Not too much time on attack, but the chances they had were great chances. And so if you're Lesley, you got to feel strong and confident going into your next game that you're not 0-1 in the conference. So
certainly that. They can say that they had the champions on the ropes for the better part of a half hour and then a little bit into that second half. And this matchup now moves to 7-2-1 as we have the first draw. Mentioning their next game, Lesley will host Umpy, or will travel away to Umpy, I should say, and the Eagles will be at Bowdoin for, again, a much anticipated matchup for them for sure. And, well, we've reached the end of this broadcast, but do not go away. So you see now the men warming up. They will be playing Lesley as the second game of a doubleheader will be up and coming for you here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. But we'll take a small break. But when we return, the Eagles men's team will look to continue their unbeaten run against Lesley. But as for this game, this women's game, 1-1 is your final. And for Husson Eagles Sports Network, we will be back for kickoff in the second game. Bye for now.